You're sitting there staring at your phone. It's been 2 days, nothing from her the last time you saw her. There was a spark in her eyes, a softness in her smile. She leaned in like she didn't want the moment to end. You felt it, she felt it. So why the silence now? Your mind whispers, she's done that, she's pulling away. But deep down, your intuition stirs. This isn't indifference, it's something else. What if her silence isn't a goodbye, but a challenge not to provoke you, but to reveal you? And the way you respond in this moment, it can either shatter her attraction or make it impossible to forget. You drop this in the comments. I rise, I don't chase. Let that be your compass from now on. This video is for the men asking, why is she distant if she cared? You're about to learn the truth. Why women pull back when emotions grow real, and what you must do not to play games, but to embody strength, clarity, and self-respect. And if this speaks to your soul, support this channel not just for you, but for the next man alone in the quiet searching for answers. In her silence, number 1, her silence isn't distance. Her silence isn't distance, it's detection. It's detection. You sit there staring at your phone, no reply. It's been days, you rewind every word, every smile, every moment. You shared, you overanalyze, you blame yourself, you assume she's lost interest. But what if I told you? This silence isn't rejection. This silence is awareness, because women don't just drift away for no reason. They feel things deeply, they sense things you don't even say. She felt your confidence shift. She picked up on that subtle desperation in your energy, even when your words were calm, and that shift. It made her pause, not because she wants to play games. Is the man she saw in you real, or was it just a mask? This is where most men crumble. They chase, they overex, they get louder to fill the void. But here's the truth, when you chase her validation, you lose her respect. Because what she really wants is to feel your strength. When she disappears to know your center, doesn't collapse. When her attention fades, when she withdraws, it's not always to punish, it's to test. Not consciously, but instinctively, she wants to know. Is this man emotionally sovereign? Can he hold himself when I step back? This is the moment that separates boys from men. Boys panic. Men pause. Your next move speaks volumes. Will you beg for her presence, or will you rise into your purpose? This is not the time for reassurance. It's the time for re-entering. Get back to your craft. Get back to your mission. Hit the gym, control your schedule, lead your life. Because real attraction doesn't live in comfort. It lives in your gravity, and gravity comes from groundedness. Women are not drawn to men who talk the most. They're drawn to men who feel the most, without losing control. The man who doesn't need attention to feel powerful. The man who doesn't need constant replies to know his worth. Let her feel your silence, not as absence, but as presence. Because the moment she senses that her silence doesn't shake you, she starts to wonder, did I walk away from something rare? You see, chasing never creates desire. Stillness does clinginess, kills mystery, but detachment that breeds curiosity. So what do you do now? You don't send another message. You don't post to provoke a response. You move, you evolve, you elevate until she feels your absence. Not as a loss, but as a lesson. A lesson that you were never waiting on her. You were building without her, that your world didn't pause. Just because she stopped texting, because the man who passes this test is not the one who reacts, is the one who reflects real and rises, be that man. The one she quietly studies, the one she thought she could pull away from, but now wonders if she lost too much by doing so. Not because you proved it to her with words, but because your energy said everything. Number 2, be the wall. Not the wind, when be the wall. Not the wind, she grows distant. When her texts become short or her energy changes. Don't chase, Don't panic, don't fold. She's not trying to break you, she's trying to see if you break. What she's really doing is stepping back to feel your presence without your performance, not your effort, not your flattery, but your foundation. A woman doesn't measure your worth by how fast you react. She watches how deeply you remain rooted if she starts pulling away and you respond with needy energy, desperate messages, or over-explaining yourself. You fail her test, not because you weren't enough, but because you weren't still enough. She doesn't need you to fix her emotions. She needs to see if you can handle them without falling apart. If you crumble at her coldness spiral when she pulls away, or beg when she says she needs space, you reveal emotional instability, not strength, and no woman, no matter how soft or strong, wants to be the anchor for a man lost in his own emotional storm. Being the wall doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being calm. It means standing tall in the chaos. Not silent in fear, but silent in power. Not ignoring her, but not being owned by her emotional tides. Either women are emotional, not because they're weak, but because they live in depth. And a man who cannot hold his ground when her waves rise will never feel safe to her, no matter how kind, caring, or loving he may be. She's not asking for reassurance. She's waiting to see if you collapse or stay composed when she withdraws. Do you lose control when she challenges you? Do you shrink when she pulls away? Do you chase her or focus harder on your path? Your power lies in emotional control, not suppression, but maturity. The ability to pause, breathe, and stay balanced when everything feels uncertain. That's what separates the grounded man from the reactive boy. That's what makes her trust you and not comfort trust, but deep soul-level safety, the kind that makes her want to stop controlling and start surrendering. Not because you forced her to, but because your presence allowed her to. So what do? You stop making her behavior your compass. You stop needing her approval to feel grounded. You stop letting her emotions dictate your direction. Instead, you build a life so rich in meaning that her mood swings can't shake your mission. You train your mind to respond, not react. You become steady, clear and firm, not hard, not harsh but immovable. Not because you don't feel, but because your emotions don't own you. She doesn't want a man who begs her to stay. She wants a man who stays whole. Even when she leaves, she wants to feel your silence and know its strength. Not surrender, she wants to test the waves and find that your shore never moves. So the question isn't, how do I win her back? The real question is, am I the kind of man who never needs to chase? Because when you become that man, the wall, she will always find her way back. Not because you reached out, but because your presence never left. Her chaos needs your calm. Number 3, her chaos needs your calm when her emotions come crashing in, loud, unpredictable, and raw. Your role is not to match her turbulence. Your role is to steady it. She doesn't need another wave to drown in. She needs a shoreline to crash against solid, unmoved safe. Her emotional chaos isn't something to correct. It's something to contain. Not with dominance, not with logic, but with grounded, unshakable presence. The kind of presence that listens without reacting, that stands without retreating, that sees her breaking and doesn't break with her. You want her to trust you. Then stop flinching when she tests you. Stop taking her moods as personal attacks. Stop scrambling to fix what isn't yours to fix. Because here's what most men miss the moment she realizes her emotions can control you. She no longer feels safe with you. Not emotionally, not spiritually. She doesn't need your explanations. She needs your energy. A stable, calm, unbothered masculine energy that doesn't mirror her chaos but absorbs it. Real strength. It's not in how loud you get. It's in how still you remain. It's in your restraint, your silence, your decision not to text, not to argue, and not to explain, Just because she's distant or defensive when she spirals, the weak man reacts, the strong man witnesses. He doesn't fix, he contains, he doesn't run. He holds because he understands her fire isn't to be feared, it's to be respected. Her silence isn't a punishment, it's a question: can I collapse and still be held? Will you chase me or will you wait with presence? Your calm is her emotional foundation. When you shake, everything falls. So how do you stay grounded? You train your instincts, you pause before you react. You let go of control and instead choose clarity. You stop seeking validation and start walking in self-worth. She doesn't need you perfect. She needs you present. She's not testing your answers. She's testing your energy, and if your energy collapses every time she wavers, she'll never feel safe enough to surrender. So be different. Don't chase, don't beg, don't force, just observe, just breathe, just center it. Put that emotional energy where it counts: your purpose, your progress, your physical strength, your financial gain, your brotherhood, because the man who can remain composed in the chaos, he becomes unforgettable, not by overpowering her, but by mastering himself. Ask yourself, do you rise when she falls? Do you react or do you respond with presence? Do you get pulled into the storm or do you become her shelter? Because the man who doesn't shift with her moods is the